Hello and welcome to Glasgow Rangers Nation with me, your host, Owen James, the channel that brings you your team every single day, guys. It is a match day. It is a Sunday match day, as is standard these days after a Europa League tie. We are back into that cycle of these Thursday, Sunday games. Well, for now, of course, we've got this very dull, boring international break coming up after this game today. Yes, another waste of time, another set of Nations League fixtures, another set of just pointless matches. I don't get the Nations League. I mean, I can kind of understand European Championship qualifiers and World Cup qualifiers. I can kind of get that. But these Nation League games, just pointless, absolutely pointless. Yet another stupid money-making opportunity for UEFA that really is just a waste of time. Anyway, we go into the game today knowing that we have to put 3 points on the board, and there can be no more excuses, especially obviously given our recent run of form in the league. Today's results. Let me have a little look at today's results, shall we? So scores on the doors: 4-1 Aberdeen v Dundee, 2-1 St Mirren v Hibs, 2-1 Motherwell v St Johnstone, 3-0 Dundee United v Ross County. Yes, Aberdeen march on. I think a few people expected them to perhaps, come apart a little bit, didn't they, after that drubbing they took from Celtic in the semi-finals of the League Cup. But I think there's a lot of teams that will take a drubbing from Celtic this season. I really do, including us, if I'm being honest at the moment. Hibs 1, St Mirren 2. Hibs are in big, big trouble. I think their manager is on the verge of being sacked as they are rock bottom of the SPL at this moment in time. Motherwell bounced back from that semi-final defeat with a 2-1 against St Johnstone. St Johnstone, the wheels seem to firmly come off any sign of a revival there. And Dundee United continue their excellent start to their return to the top flight with a 3-0 win over struggling Ross County. All that leaves the league table looking this way. Aberdeen sit top. I mean, it's got it's almost back to the 1980s, isn't it? I'm almost ready to get my Huey Lewis and the News CDs out again and, travelling back in time. That's it. I won't sing again, don't worry. Celtic, who play today, sit second on 28 points. Rangers in third on 19 points. So we're now 9 points behind Celtic and 12 points now behind Aberdeen. We can, of course, cut that back to 9 with a victory today. But look, I mean, the form going into this game is not great, is it? 3 victories and 2 defeats. Obviously, a defeat last time out against Aberdeen. Not good at all. Dundee United sit 4th on 19 points, same number of points as us, but have played 2 more games than us. Motherwell sit 5th, also on 19 points as well. St Mirren in 6th on 15. Dundee in 7th on 12. Killie in 8th, seem to be bouncing back now on 12. Ross County, although struggling this season, are in 9th on 12. St Johnstone on 10. Hearts really do need some points tomorrow, given the fact they are still second off bottom under new manager Neil Critchley. And rock bottom, Hibs looking shocking as fuck there. 8 points, very poor team. Look, it makes today, because I'm recording this Saturday night, so important to get those 3 points at Ibrox. As I talked on the video earlier, the premiere that we put out earlier on Saturday, we talked about the record against Hearts. It is a good one. It's a solid one. It's not one that it's not one that we can be ashamed of. I mean, their last victory, I think, was back in the Scottish Championship in 2014-2015. That I think was 2-1. I think I mentioned this morning in that video. But look, today it's all about the team going out there and starting to put right what's been going wrong, starting to show that it's not just Europe where we can put in the performances. And I think a lot of the criticism that's been levelled at Rangers and especially at the manager as well is around sort of the tactics and the way we play. And the fact that, come European nights, the tactics that we play, the way we play suits the European style. Clement has a very European style. Belgium, the Belgian style, is that European way of doing things when he was at Monaco as well. And that kind of, way he wants to play a little bit suits European football and, perhaps doesn't suit the intensity and the nature of the tactics employed against us here in Scotland. I mean, you look at the way that most teams come and they play Rangers and they set up. I mean, let's face it, the first thing to take into account is that we are everyone's cup final. We are everyone's cup final. Everyone is bang up for a game against Rangers. That's the way it is. It's always going to be that way. They always go up 10, 20% against us because it's us. And the vast majority of teams that come to Ibrox set up with a low block. They set up to stop, they spoil, they foul, they slow the game down, they time waste, they break the game up as much as possible, they delay as much as possible, because they know if they go toe to toe with us, on the whole, our players are better than theirs, so we'll take them apart. And that's the way it looks. And there's very few teams that will come to Ibrox and actually have a go at Rangers. It just doesn't happen. So that style that Clement wants, he's got to kind of, I think, domestically become a lot more adaptable, and be willing to change his tactics to suit the situation we're in, suit the game that we're in. Now, I think, from 67 minutes last Sunday against Motherwell, we saw a bit of a step up domestically in terms of the way we played. The removal of Dessers and Tavernier really did help the team. And I think not having Tav in the team Thursday also helped the team. I think there's been an element too much of a lot of players covering for James Tavernier, knowing that he has substantial weaknesses going backwards and defending, knowing that he's not as effective going forward as he was. And players are having to do their own job and do his job as well. And the right side having to track back. Suter's been pulled out of position a lot. Whereas not having that worry on Thursday, I thought brought the more stability out of the team, a consistency of performance, a better use of the ball. And it also did from 67 minutes on Sunday as well. That's why I really do hope that James Tavernier doesn't start today. I think if he does start, it's a massive retrograde step, and it really shows that Philippe Clement is perhaps as stupid as some of us worried that he was, that he hasn't really learnt anything. For me, Sterling's got to start, or Cass at right back. You got to go Suter and Balogun, or Suter and whoever is Suter and Cass in central defence. Kiefte on the left. Maybe Ridvan comes back in. I don't know. He was on the bench on Thursday. Maybe he wants to get Ridvan some minutes. But for me, there is no way that James Tavernier can start. It just does not happen today. The other change I really want to see today, and I think it's all also, and even with the international break coming up, I really feel that we do need to have some element of rotation in there and getting minutes into the legs of some of these players, particularly these players that are not going to go away on international duty, to get some match minutes into them, ready for, coming back after the international break. And the player I talk in particular about is Danilo. Now, look, Danilo came on against Motherwell in the semi-final last weekend, and I thought played very well indeed. It was his run, for example, that takes 4 players away and creates the space for Bayrami's goal. I thought his movement was excellent. The way he holds the ball up is excellent. He is a more effective player than Dessers ever is. And I just think that, look, Danilo was always signed, in my opinion, as the first choice striker. He was always brought in to be striker number 1. Now, we've got to start to see that. I mean, we paid an awful lot of money for this guy, and I know he's been out with injury, and some of those injuries have not been his fault. The smash in the face, the ACL against Hearts were all down to hammer throw a play against the guy. He scores that effective header as well, doesn't he, against Hearts in that 2-1 win at Ibrox last season. So, look, I mean, I really want to start to see Danilo tomorrow. I want to see him start, even if we're only going to get 60, 65 minutes out of him. Get the minutes in his legs, get him some action, get him the chance to play. I just think his movement, his sharpness, he's quicker than Dessers. His goals per game ratio across his career is better than Dessers. He's just an all-round better player than Cyril Dessers. So for me today, I want to see Danilo at top. I want to see him given the chance to start, to go out there and to really prove, to the fans, prove to the manager that he's got a future at this club. Because I think there are a lot of people doubting Danilo's future at this club. I'd like to see some of the youngsters on the bench as well. I'd like to see some of the youngsters get a chance to play. Bailey Rice, Cole McKinnon, Zach Lovelace. Again, all young lads that I want to see get out there and get that opportunity to play. We've got a chance, to really bring these lads on this season. And I think, given the fact that there isn't a lot of money there to sign players in January, and I don't think there'll be a lot of arrivals, we are going to have to start leaning on some of these young players moving forward. So for me, from today onwards, domestically, we've got to start to see some of these youngsters come through. I'm not saying start them. I'm saying at least from the bench, 20 minutes here, 15 minutes there, because they're going to show heart. They're going to show fight. They're going to show ball that perhaps some of these more senior players haven't shown so far this season. So look, today's game, it's massive. It is huge. It's a must win. It's a 3 points we've got to get because, as I've said, we can't afford to fall 12 points behind Celtic and Aberdeen going into the international break. I mean, I honestly feel if we lose today, the pressure's right back on him again. He may have taken some but not all of the pressure off with that performance on Thursday. And obviously reaching the semi-final, winning the semi-final as well, that change that he made, and the dropping of Tav, so the rotating of Tav on Thursday. But he can make life so much easier on himself today by making the right choices in the team, playing the right way, getting the 3 points, and taking the pressure off himself. Prediction time, 3-0 Rangers. I'm going for, that's my new prediction, 3-0 Rangers. Let me know your predictions in the comments down below. Let me know your team selections. Let me know your thoughts on today's game. Guys, that's your matchday news for this morning. Just a short one. Thank you for watching Glasgow Rangers Nation. As always, it's been a pleasure speaking to you. Please smash the like. Please smash the sub. Please drop a comment. Please do a share. And remember always, we are the people.